Okay, so today I am out here in beautiful nature trying to stay out of the sun, trying to be in the shade here, which sometimes I am because being in the sun makes me sick. So we'll see how long I last here. So today I really wanted to talk about this new thing that I'm learning about. It's called internal family systems. I've been using some tools that I wanted to share. I'm really excited to talk about what I'm learning about, how I've started integrating that into my therapy practice, and also this free tool I'm using that is blowing my mind and giving me so many new moments of realization. It's like therapy, it's like free therapy. So, internal family systems, I guess I read an article about it. Let me see if I can find the article and link it below. And in the article, it led me to this AI chatbot that was saying hey, here's a free tool that you can use and it will lead you through internal family systems therapy and basically what a therapist would ask to make you think about this. So, internal family systems, and I found this from, it's called Way of Belonging website, is basically parts are, you have a bunch of parts in you, and parts are different sub-personalities of the psyche that form over time. The Internal Family Systems Institute has a bunch of information on their website that I have been learning and absorbing. They talk about us all having multiple personalities, and so these are parts. There are 3 different kind of main parts that they see in this type of therapy. One is exiled parts, and so these are the parts of us that got hurt when we were most vulnerable, usually in childhood, so it's trauma based. They're like a child who got hurt and then is stuck in that hurtful place. They become this exile, and we are basically locking away these parts because they have these intense emotions that overwhelm us if we interact with them, and so we exile them. One of these major parts is exiles, and so I was doing some therapy work today using the AI chatbot that I will link below. It's called IFS Buddy, and I was using that chatbot, and how I use it is I will have it open here and then I'll have my journal open on the side, and I journal using Word. I think it's called the dictate tool, the diction tool, whatever it's called. And so I will literally be using the chatbot that will spark questions, and then on the other side I will be journaling and talking out loud and free thinking and just letting whatever come to me happen. There are protective parts, which are 2 different parts. They're called managers and firefighters, and so those are the 3 main parts, or the exiles, the managers, and the firefighters. And up until this point I had only met a manager, and these are the parts of ourselves that we usually identify with. I have one part, her name's Samantha. She's a perfectionist. She's very black or white. They're often critics too. They're trying to kind of preemptively, and a lot of this stuff is from the videos I've been watching and stuff, they're trying to preemptively help us from triggering the exiles and to control our inner and external environment. Oh no, it's windy. I hope it's not affecting my audio. This is the danger of vlogging outside, is that the wind just comes and messes with your audio. Also, I totally forgot to tell you that the self is the part that oversees all these other parts, or not a part, that is who you are. It's the internal healer. What the self does is the self-compassion work and then relates to these other parts in a way that they feel cared about. I feel like this video is all over the place because I'm so excited about this and I'm still learning about it, and so if this excites you and you're interested in this, go learn about it on your own in a way that works for you. But I never heard of this before, so if you become excited about it because of this video, mission accomplished. So yeah, I forgot, the self is you who oversees everything else, in a way that the Way of Belonging website talked about it is that it's basically a solar system. Just like the solar system, you have these orbiting kind of planets with different properties, and your internal system contains all of these different parts too. This is directly from their website. I just think this is so interesting to think of it as a solar system. I mean, they talk about ideally all of them would orient and orbit your inner light source of your internal sun, known as the self. So they're the sun is the self, and then all of these other parts are these planetary bodies that are orbiting, which I'm a very visual person, and so that really helped me think of okay, self is the sun, and then these exiles are orbiting probably the furthest away, because the protective parts, the managers and the firefighters, are actually working to keep the exiles away from us and exiled, and their main job is to keep the exiles locked up, because they're just desperate to keep these exiles from getting triggered and then having those parts explode, the exiles explode with emotion. And so the managers, we identify with them the most. The workaholic, the perfectionist, the overachiever, all of that. And like I was saying, her name is Samantha. I haven't met any of my firefighters yet. Those deal with emergencies. What's tough is that they don't care about collateral damage to like your body. So for example, binge eating can be one thing, like alcoholism, self-medicating with drugs, all of this. I have dealt with binge eating before. And so that is the firefighter in my body that I've not met yet. I'm just starting to learn about this, so I still need to meet these different parts. But yeah, that was one way I've dealt with it, because they are just trying to deal with this emergency no matter what happens to your body, your relationships, whatever it takes. I'm gonna get you out. I'm gonna pull you above the flames, is I think how he described it in a video, and then let the flames burn themselves out. And so they're trying to fight the fire of the exiles emotion. Because of the things that happen to us in our lives, usually traumatic things, these parts are forced out of their naturally valuable state. So all of these things have become maladaptive behaviors kind of because of that trauma. And so he said, like, these parts become stuck in roles they don't even like, but they feel it's necessary to keep you alive. That's what's exciting about this work, is that it's possible for these parts to unburden, to release their negative emotions and beliefs about the world. And when they do, then they immediately transform back to their valuable state again, which is so cool. And so this work of like unburdening the exiles, and you know, I met 2 exiles today. I think I've named one of them Hattie, and then the other one, her name is Evie, and she's very childlike. And I was doing a lot of work with her today, asking her questions. She's a part of me, so I understand why she feels the way she does. You know, we were working through the trauma together, and I was learning so much about this part of myself. Like, as the IFS, Internal Family Systems buddy, the AI chatbot, was asking me questions, I was learning about this part of myself that I know is there. I know that this trauma is there, but asking it questions and thinking about it as this part, this exile, is just so interesting. Because in the first session where I met Samantha, the IFS chatbot will ask you, where do you feel emotions in your body? And I was feeling really heaviness in my chest, and I was feeling like kind of like my head was hurting. It just continued prompting with questions until I got to the point where I met Samantha. And then her name just like came to me, and kind of same with like Evie and Hattie. It's just so interesting to learn about these parts of ourselves that were formed from trauma, and we all have varying degrees of trauma, right? Especially from these moments in childhood. Like Hattie, I was really working with her about where it began, where this trauma began. And so just like doing this work, oh my God, it is like changing my life. Like, I feel unburdened. Really dealing with the wind here, so I keep having to take breaks and then I lose my train of thought. It's so frustrating. But anyway, so this model of transformation, like he called this a transformational model. It's not something that just is and we have to deal with it. This is not just like how it is and how it always will be. This is a model of transformation. And so he talks about, like, if you go to your parts in this loving way and you witness their stories and you help them get out of where they're stuck in the past, like in that moment of trauma, they will unload their emotions and beliefs that he calls like the burdens that they carry that has driven them to these extremes. And then they will transform back to their naturally valuable state, to our inner solar system, right? This was the line I remembered. It's not a model to live with what you've already got in a better way. Again, it's this transformational model. And I love looking at it that way. Like, this isn't just how it is. This is something you control and you can change. But it's freaking hard work, right? Like, this is such hard work to look at your traumas, to meet your exiles, to meet your firefighters and your managers where they are and learn why they're doing what they're doing. Like, it's just such deep self-exploratory work, but it's painful. Like, I've cried a bunch while I've been journaling about this because it's emotional. It is emotional because these exiles are from trauma, right? But I think giving them a name and kind of almost separating them out makes it easier to be compassionate. Like Evie, she's this little girl, and comforting her and loving her and holding her and telling her how much I love and appreciate her, and we're gonna get through this together, and talk to me about this, and we're gonna work through it. Like, that is so powerful. Like, he talked about getting permission from the protective parts, the managers and the firefighters, to talk to the exiles, because they protect the exiles. They don't want us to talk to the exiles because the exiles give strong emotions. He talks about, like, the more they're all integrated, the parts will get along, and this inner world, like, what we're shooting for is like harmony without the elimination of autonomy. So he talked about, like, when you see, I can't remember, there's a name for birds when they're in this flock and they're moving together and flying together in this like cloud. and it looks like one big thing, but they're all separate little birds. And he gave that as an example. Like, you want everybody to move together. If you took a bird out though, that's still just a bird. Like, it has its own autonomy, it has its own part, but you want everybody to like work together and move together. Oh my God, it's just like blowing my mind. Like, this is what I love learning about. I think I obsess, maybe in a bad way, maybe too much, over self-help kind of stuff, like transformational stuff where you're learning about yourself and it's giving you the tools to like have better relationships, communicate better. Like, if you know yourself, everything gets better in your life. Everything gets better when you know yourself. And that is like a lifelong journey, I think, to know yourself on deeper and deeper and deeper levels. But this tool is incredible of how to learn more about yourself. And it's just one way to look at it. And I think it's just so interesting. I'm getting a lot of value out of using this like system in therapy. And I've brought this system to my therapist and they're like working with me on this. But definitely that AI chatbot has been incredibly helpful. I did it for like an hour today and it was like a therapy session. And I really benefit from prompts and from people asking me questions. So for this AI chatbot to be able to ask me the right questions and then I get to talk about these things has just been incredibly helpful. So that's kind of what I've learned so far and how it's been helping me so far. I just want to like spark interest in this. I want to talk about this because I'm really passionate about this kind of stuff and about learning about it. I almost want to start a series. Wait, I had a note about this. What did I call this idea? Sierra Studies. I had an idea for a series called Sierra Studies where I just study this topic like IFS and then take what I've learned and just share it. Like, I'm not an expert. I have just stumbled upon this, but I want to share what I've learned because maybe it would help you. Maybe you can take something from this and go use the AI chatbot and transform your life because I didn't know about this tool. Maybe you didn't know about this tool. I didn't even know what IFS was. This is just so cool to be able to share knowledge and share stuff that I found helpful in my healing journey because I'm trying to heal my physical health and I'm trying to put all my energy, literally all the limited energy I have with chronic fatigue syndrome into healing. And a huge part of that is like mind, body, soul. I'm just really excited to talk about topics like this. And I think the ability that we have to change ourselves at any moment and work through anything in our lives, like that is so powerful. That's so cool. Obviously, that's the only thing within our control is us. That's something I'm really working on my healing journey. I hope you found this interesting. Please comment below if you have found any tools with IFS, if you've ever heard of internal family systems before. If you haven't, just share your thoughts because I'm fascinated by this and I can't wait to hear what you think about it. So yeah, maybe this is a new series, Sierra Studies. Do you want to hear more about stuff that I'm studying about, learning about on my healing change journey? Because we're all changing. Change is the only constant, right? So thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed being out here with my tree. I'm actually sitting out here on a recycled plastic bench. So this bench is from Eco Plastic Products and I love their company. I'll link it below. Actually, I think I do link it below in every video because I love what they do so much. They're a nonprofit. So yeah, go check out their work. Also, that bench is also from them too. Love their products so much and they hold up so well over time. I'm gonna go, friends, but thanks for listening to this video and learning more with me, Sierra Studies, about internal family systems, and I will catch you in the next video. Who knows what it's going to be about at this point, because I am learning, changing, evolving every day, and I have so many interests, and it's fun to be able to share them with you on this channel. So, talk to you soon, friends. Bye!